Granger, for the ones who get it done.
When a storm like Sandy hits, National Grid asks that you be on high alert for gas service interruptions caused by severe flooding. If you smell natural gas, contact them as soon as possible. Also, stay out of flooded basins or standing water, as utility services below the water line may pose a hazard. If flooding causes a loss of gas service and floodwaters have receded, contact National Grid and they'll send over a gas service technician. For more storm information, go to nationalgrid.com/Hurricane Sandy. National Grid, here with you, here for you. Wednesday's time, 4:55. Like many South Shore Long Island communities, Lindenhurst was early to flood today thanks to this morning's high tide. And those who remained in their homes are bracing for what tonight will bring. We're going to go there now.
Every so often you can see people walking up Wellwood Avenue with bags evacuating. They say the water is high enough already. They do not want to be here for tonight's high tide when the water is expected to be even higher.
Water is getting all the way up to almost my knee right here. It's looking really bad.
Juan and Amy came by to pick up one last necessity. What are you bringing with you?
I Nintendo Wii.
Clothes, Gunny. All of our good stuff is already there. We just came back today to check the house. So, of course, we gotta bring the Wii, and where's that? Others say they are sticking it out, at least for now. Holly Hare, 1010 Winds in Lindenhurst.
Wednesday's time, 4:56. In addition to mandatory evacuation, some communities have implemented curfews. Hoboken just announcing one starting at 6 o'clock tonight. Officials want everyone off the flood-prone streets. That order will continue through tomorrow. Elsewhere in New Jersey's Lyndhurst Mayor Robert Giangiarusso tells 1010 Winds they're ready for whatever the hurricane brings.
We have first responders. We have a shelter set up. We have the CERT team, the police department, the fire department, auxiliary, EMT.
Flooding has closed much of the Garden State Parkway as well as the Jersey Turnpike from Stafford Township to Cape May. Now going back across the Hudson to Brooklyn, Red Hook went under early today. The flooding beginning, like in most communities, with the first high tide.
Van Brunt, Reed, Conover. Streets that flooded here in Red Hook during the morning high tide. The water, though, pulling back, but the surge is yet to come. And this neighborhood could see 5 to 6 feet of water. Christopher Ketchum growing more worried by the hour.
The real high tide tonight, and this does not bode well. This is bad news for this neighborhood. A lot of Red Hook is going to be flooded, probably those Kiwanis areas.
On nearby Beard Street, Jeremy Armstrong, like many, stacking sandbags in front of his door.
I'm praying for the best and trying not to expect anything.
And along the waterfront, top floor windows boarded up or taped up. Al Jones, 1010 Winds in Red Hook, Brooklyn.
And make sure you keep it locked into 1010 Winds and 1010winds.com for the very latest on Hurricane Sandy. Wednesday's time, 4:58.
We can't afford to miss another mortgage payment.
My new job doesn't start for 3 months. How am I going to pay my bills?
I gotta find a way to pay for one more semester.
They're saying it's going to cost thousands to get this car fixed.
If you need cash in a hurry, here's an easy solution to get that cash. The Provident Loan Society, a non-profit agency that helps people get the money they need in times of need. Bring us your diamonds, gold jewelry, silverware, or gold coins, and we'll lend you up to $100,000 for up to 6 months at rates lower than you'd find at a pawn shop. Pay your loan off and your valuables will return to you in the same condition they were brought in. We protect them for you. There's no need to sell your valuables.
We can get up to $100,000?
And I get my stuff back once the loan is paid off?
It's a smart choice for short-term cash.
Seriously, why get a loan from anywhere else?
The Provident Loan Society since 1894, with offices in Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Manhattan. Call 1-800-757-7296 or go to providentloan.com. It's better than a pawn shop. It's Provident Loan.
Weekdays time, 4:59.
WINS, WINS HD, WWNS HD3, New York.
Now the 1010 Winds official AccuWeather forecast. Flood watch in effect through tomorrow afternoon. A coastal flood warning in effect through 3 p.m. tomorrow. High wind warning in effect through 6 p.m. tomorrow. Heavy rain and powerful winds from Sandy tonight. An extreme, locally historic storm surge of 6 to 10 feet is expected this evening with a high tide cycle. Most susceptible, Long Island Sound and New York Harbor. Winds will shift to the south and remain sustained at 40 to 60 miles per hour with gusts over 70 miles per hour. 59 degrees now. We're going down to 55 in Midtown tonight. This is 1010 Winds, New York's one and only all-news station. Ashland Colton and Asia Farr are our service aides. Our writers, Julie Bond. Bill Spadaro is at the editor's desk. I'm Lori Bennett.
October 29th. I'm Brian Carey. Here's what's happening. This is an update from the 1010 Wind Storm Center. The massive superstorm is not far away with Sandy's top surges and worse still to come. And while all of this is happening, a dangling crane has been causing major concerns in Midtown. But first, let's go straight to 1010 Wind's AccuWeather meteorologist Dave Bowers. Dave?
The storm here, as of the latest advisory, is now only 30 miles east-southeast of Cape May, New Jersey, and it is moving toward Cape May, New Jersey at 28 miles an hour, so that's easy math to do. And in 1 hour, the storm will be crossing the New Jersey coastline over May, heading toward Washington and then across the northern portions of Maryland. Still 90 mile-an-hour sustained winds and a pressure of 940 millibars. So this is a historic storm about to make landfall.
Winds news time 5:01. And time for traffic and transit on the ones with Matt Ward.
Well, we have as many as 5 major crossings currently blocked off right now because of the weather. The Gauntlet Bridge, the Outer Crossing, and the Elm Bridge is currently blocked off. Let's make that 6 major crossings. We'll add 2 in the Holland Tunnel, the Tappan Zee, and the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. And then starting at 7 o'clock tonight, we have added closures. Expect to be coming up along the Thrush Neck and the Verrazano and the George Washington Bridge. Keep it locked to 1010 Winds as we keep you posted on all of that. Meanwhile, the traffic on the FDR Drive has been blocked off coming uptown 42nd Street to the Tribal Bridge. Downtown FDR Drive is underwater. Tribal Bridge back in towards 96th Street. Other sporadic flooding along the FDR Drive as well. Major Deegan's been closed on the southbound side. Yankee Stadium to 149th with flooding. And northbound had an accident by 149th Street as well. And the traffic on the BQE has been very slow. It crashed up around the Long Island Expressway. In New Jersey, closures on Route 4 West and Teaneck with a down 3. Garden State Parkway completely closed. Southbound, in fact, both ways from Southway to 429 all the way down to Cape May. We're also got late word of the closure on 208 heading in through Franklin Lakes in both directions with a down 3. And there's also ongoing closures of Route 46 in multiple locations. Little Ferry, Ridgefield Park, Mount Island, and up in Hackettstown, a combination of flooding and down trees. No planes, trains, buses, or ferries. Alternate side suspended again for tomorrow. And I'm Matt Ward. Our next report at 5:07 on 1010 Winds.
Premier Banking of Sovereign offers premier service, premier rates, and many other rewards preceded by Premier. Visit your local branch or call 1-877 Bank for details. Member FDIC.
Winds news time 5:03. Well, in addition to all of the flooding, power, and travel problems Hurricane Sandy is causing, there's a developing story in Midtown. Live there is 1010 Winds reporter Gene Michaels.
It's mayhem here, Brian, looking at all the emergency vehicles and a lot of people standing around, surprisingly, in this weather. But some of them are doing that by no choice of their own. Some people were actually evacuated from buildings right near 157. That's where this crane is. This building's still in progress. Going to be a very ritzy townhouse. Well, basically the crane itself looks to be okay. It's the front of the crane that is dangling precariously right now high above 57th Street. And every time I turn around, there are more street closures in this area. Even trying to run through here, I spent quite a bit of time trying to get from one side of this thing to the other, and I walked blocks and blocks around it trying to get through. I just could not. A lot of pedestrians are finding that too. Even 6th and a Half Avenue is not working for people right now because that would put you right on 57th, right near where this is, right across from Carnegie Hall. We'll have more for you as things progress. Right now, it just seems like they're trying to figure out exactly what they're going to do with this thing as the winds continue to grow. Gene Michaels live along 57th Street for 1010 Winds.
Winds news time 5:04. Train, bus, and subway closures came yesterday. Today, the Tappan Zee Bridge closed at 4, and Governor Cuomo says the Throgs Neck, Whitestone, Verrazano, Henry Hudson, and George Washington bridges will close at 7 tonight. For the time being, he adds the RFK Bridge remains open, and so do the Lincoln and Midtown tunnels. The Holland and Brooklyn.
Deteriorating very rapidly, and the window for you getting out safely is closing. As the winds start building this afternoon, it gets more and more dangerous to go outside, and so you're sort of hard place. You should have left, but it's also getting to be too late to leave. Stan Brooks, 1010 Wins at OEM in Brooklyn.
Wins news time, 5:05, and checking in now from New Jersey, Point Pleasant, I believe, is 1010 Wins are actually correspondent Stephen Portnoy. Steve.
Clearly, because the situation continues to intensify here at Point Pleasant Beach, we are seeing wind gusts in excess of 75 miles per hour here in Ocean County, New Jersey. There are tiles coming off the roofs of hotels and other homes around here as evidence of the power of the wind, and the furious storm surge continues to creep upon the sand dunes, which hopefully will protect us here at Point Pleasant. All day, of course, the story in New Jersey has been flooding further down the shoreline on the Barrier Islands, Seaside Heights, and Atlantic City, all of which apparently have seen flooding to some degree or another, particularly, we know, in Atlantic City. But here, as we await landfall of Hurricane Sandy, the story is that things are moving fast. The wind is moving fast, the rain is moving fast, it's hard to stand still, the trees are bent, the traffic lights are swaying very quickly, and the street lights are shaking, and we're afraid that maybe something else will start to go. So, reporting live from Point Pleasant Beach, Stephen Portnoy, ABC News for 1010 Wins.
Be careful, Stephen. What's news time, 5:07. And we go now to the Chief Storm Desk for a live interview. Here's our Jessica Edinger.
What everybody fears, it's all about power outages, and all of a sudden everybody realizes how important that little battery-powered AM radio is. Con Ed's Alan Drury is live with us now here on 1010 Wins. About 68,000 Con Ed customers without power now. Is that the update, Alan?
Thanks for having me. The number has actually grown. We're now up to about 71,500 customers without power.
And we're thinking, is it going to grow?
Oh, it'll certainly grow because the storm is hitting us full force and knocking trees into power lines in our overhead areas.
When this was all predicted, what worries you the most? There are two big problems, right?
Yeah, there are two big problems. There's the areas of our system where the electrical delivery equipment is overhead, the overhead lines and transformers. The winds knock trees into that equipment and knock customers out of power. And we're also watching our underground areas very carefully for flooding, and there's the possibility that we may have to shut down certain parts of our underground electrical delivery system to protect it from damage.
Yeah, we were talking to the PSC&G folks earlier, and they said that even when an outage is reported, they are taking it very seriously for the safety of their workers, and there will be a delay. If it's not safe to get out there and try to fix something, they're not sending their workers out there. Is that the same for you folks?
Absolutely. Safety is first. We'll not send workers to a situation that's unsafe. The idea is to get through this with the safety of the public and our own crews first and foremost.
Con Ed's Alan Drury is live with us here on 1010 Wins. What's the big warning you give people who think they can get out of the car and move a power line?
Very important. Never assume that down power lines are de-energized. Assume that they're live, and that means don't try to touch them with your hands or any other object. Don't try to move them. In fact, if you see them, you should call 1-800-75-CON-ED and or your local police department.
It's obviously, and this question, please don't be mad at me. What are you telling people to do to prepare for how long they may not have power with Con Ed?
Well, there's a few things you can do. It's very important that you charge your devices while you still do have power. Your cell phone, your laptop, your BlackBerry, and any other devices that you may rely on. Also, make sure that the batteries work and your flashlights. Make sure you know where your flashlights are.
And you're saying it could be up to 7 days, Alan?
What we said is that the restoration after the storm will be a multi-day restoration effort. We will have to assess damage before we can be more precise.
Put a number on it, I understand. Con Ed's Alan Drury, thank you so much. Live on 1010 Wins. Stay with us for live updates as we track Sandy. Keep it tuned to 1010 Wins and go to 1010wins.com.
Wins news time, 5:09, and 1010 Wins reporter Steve Sandberg is checking in live now from Hoboken. Steve, are you there? Well, we will get back with him and much more to come on 1010 Wins News Time 5:10. Traffic and your AccuWeather forecast up next.
The tradition of the 4 Brooklyn ladies continues. There have been changes affecting people receiving long-term care, and Home First, an affiliate of MJHS, is here to help. If you have Medicaid and are receiving ongoing home care or have a home attendant, you may be eligible for enrollment in Home First, a managed long-term care plan. With Home First, you can keep your own doctor. Our care manager will help you remain safely at home. We have a large network of personal care aides who help with bathing, dressing, and meals. If you already have a personal care provider, chances are they're already in our network, so you won't have to make a change. Only Home First, one of the largest MLTC plans in the state, provides the quality care and compassion that carries on the tradition of MJHS and the Brooklyn Ladies. Call Home First now, 1-866-388-5286. 1-866-388-5286. Caring every minute, every day.
Wiz News time 5:11. And it's time for traffic and transit on the ones with Matt Ward.
Well, the big troubles continue with the storm, and this report is sponsored by Centrum Flavor Burst. First of all, you've got no mass transit whatsoever, no planes, trains, buses, or ferries, and many of the bridges and tunnels are now closed off, including the Goethals, the Outer Bridge, the Bayonne Bridge, and a closure of the Holland Tunnel as well, and the Tappan Zee. Scheduled to close tonight at 7 o'clock, the George Washington Bridge and the Verrazano, as well as the Throgneck. There's also an ongoing closure of the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. And a crane collapsed in town. A crane collapsed at 57th between 6th and 7th, and because of that, downtown 7th Avenue closed off 59th through 56th, and uptown 6th Avenue between 57th and 58th. Still major flooding along the FDR Drive. That's been closed 42nd up to the RFK Trauber Bridge, downtown FDR Drive from the Trauber Bridge back in towards the 90s. We've had flooding on the belt eastbound at Bay 8th Street and westbound side of Down Tree over by Farmers Boulevard or just west of that point. In Connecticut, a closure of the Bird Parkway south in Greenwich between exit 29 and 28, and a big debris spill on the roadway on the Connecticut Turnpike North between exit 4 and 5. Alternate side will be suspended again completely for tomorrow. Get all the essential nutrients you need and all the flavors you love with new Centrum Flavor Burst, the fruit-flavored chewy multivitamin with vitamin B to increase vitality and vitamin C and E to support your immune system. Visit Centrum.com for your $2 coupon and try new Centrum Flavor Burst today. I'm Matt Ward. Our next report at 521 on 1010
Winds. News time 5:12, and now the official 1010 Winds AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Meteorologist Dave Bowers is back with our live report. Dave?
Yeah, we have the storm now within the next hour is going to be slamming into Cape May, New Jersey, right around 6 o'clock.